Hey guys, so for this video, I'm going to go over what I believe is the most efficient practice routine in Fortnite. On nearly every video I make, I get tons of people saying they still can't improve or get better. They say they watch all my videos and follow all my tips and tricks, yet they're still seeing no improvement. There's a bunch of different reasons this could be happening. Maybe they're not able to translate their practice into real games. Maybe their current practice is inefficient and unproductive. Or maybe they simply don't have the time and the hours it takes to grind and play the game. Whatever the problem is, the solution is a rigorous structured improvement routine that players of all skill levels can use to get better in just a short period of time. And that's exactly what my training program is designed to do. In order to try and cover every single aspect of your Fortnite gameplay, I've divided the practice regimen into 5 parts: aiming, building, editing, fighting, and game sense. For each component, I'll show what you should do to improve at it, why it works, and how long you should practice it for. In total, the program should take you a little more than an hour, and you should see results in just a few short weeks. With that being said, and me sounding like a really weird fitness trainer, let's start with your aim. For improving your aim, you want to practice both your tracking and flick aim, focusing more on your tracking. That's why the first part of your routine is to use this course by a guy named M. Zertsu. A ton of pros have been using this recently, and after using it myself, I can finally see why. The tracking section features 4 sentry robots getting flinged into the air one after another. All you want to do is track them out of the sky and try to kill them before they hit the ground. Do this for 10 minutes straight, practicing with different guns and from different distances. You can see my tracking is decent, but the end goal is to get aim like this. This is NRG Zate, one of the best Fortnite players in the world, whose aim literally looks like an aimbot. Obviously, your aim will not look like this overnight, but I can guarantee you it will get better after using this drill. For improving at flicks, you're going to turn around and go into the other room on the same map and start up that drill. Instead of robots, this exercise uses zombies that are pushed up to the side and then up in front of you. You'll want to practice both your shotgun flicks and SMG spraying since they both utilize your hipfire sensitivity. Start with your crosshair away from the target, wait for it to get in front of you, and then do your best to hit your shots. Like I said before, I think tracking aim is more important than your flicks, so only do this drill for 5 minutes. In total, that's 15 minutes of aim training using this course. The alternative, that's unfortunately only available on PC, is Kovaks Aim Trainer. For AR tracking, use Ascended Tracking 90 Small, or really any sort of Ascended Tracking drill for 10 minutes. This is exactly what I did after I switched to keyboard and mouse, and after maybe 3 weeks of training, my aim was 10 times better. For shotgun flicks, play a couple of rounds of Tile Frenzy 180. Make sure that you're using your hipfire aim for this, as well as the next drill I'm going to show, and for Ascended Tracking, you're using your ADS sense. If you're confused, your ADS sense is your hipfire sense times your targeting sense, where your hipfire sense is your in-game X and Y sense. Lastly, to practice your SMG spraying in Kovaks, play close long strafes invincible for 2 to 3 minutes. This adds up to 15 minutes of aim training in Kovaks, the same amount of time from the creative map. It doesn't really matter what you use, but don't use both, as you only want to be practicing your aim for 15 minutes as part of my program. So whichever you go for, practice the drills I showed and your aim will improve, fast. The next part of my training program is improving your building. The best way to do that is to start with simple free building. Just hop into a blank creative world and start cranking. Practice your 90s, high ground retakes, ramp pushes, tunneling. Basically, do whatever the heck you want. The best way to improve at building and actually transfer it into real matches is to start by learning in a no pressure environment. And that's exactly what free building is. It helps you build muscle memory and practice new techniques that you'll eventually use in game. I usually begin with random builds and then start focusing my practice on a few different retakes that I'm trying to master. Free building should take about 10 minutes, and then you'll want to grab a friend and do some 1v1s. This is the next step in improving your building and becoming a better builder in actual matches. You should never skip straight from free building in creative to the Battle Royale game mode. You you need to apply it in a light stress environment like a 1v1. That means you should be doing all the builds and retakes you just practiced. Work on whatever building strats you need to and see how you perform under a little pressure. Aim to do 1v1s for about 10 to 15 minutes, meaning you've spent about 20 to 25 minutes total on building. I believe aiming and building are the two most important mechanics in Fortnite, especially your aim once you get to the top level of players. The reason I suggest you guys spend more time building is simply because a majority of you guys are not at that level. Building smoothly, cleanly, and effectively is much more crucial to get to that level, so that's how the program is structured. Next up is editing. Editing is still an extremely important mechanic, but I see way too many people practicing their edits for longer than they should. For my routine, I'd say you should spend at most 5 minutes doing edit courses. Any well-known edit course works. I was using Kanduk's course from one of my videos, and while going through it, you want to aim for accuracy first, then focus on speed. There's no point in being the fastest editor in the world if you mess up every other edit. Now, the other part of improving your editing should have been done within the free building drills. As you were doing your 10 minutes of building, you should have been doing random edits with your retakes and pushes. Many pros like Bugha only practice their editing while they build. That's one of the many reasons free building and 1v1s are so valuable. You can actually work on your editing at the same time, so don't spend too much time on these courses, because you can actually improve your editing while doing other things like building. The fourth part of our routine is what I'll call fighting. This is the part I think most people struggle at. It's basically translating your aiming, building, and editing into real fights. The first part of getting better at fighting is W-keying everyone you see. This could be in arena or regular public matches. The point is to get into as many fights as you can and obviously win them. The more opponents you face, the different each fight will be, and the more you'll learn and take away from every engagement. The really good part about W-keying is you'll be working on the three main mechanics we just covered. You boys know I'm all about playing smart and making good decisions, but for the sake of learning to fight, you just gotta W-key and push everyone in sight. The other extremely useful way to improve at fighting is to 1v1 box fight against your friends. Your friend or whoever it is starts in one box, you start in another, and you try to replace each other's walls or turtle. This is insanely useful because more than half of your engagements in game will be box fights. That's simply the way Fortnite is. This is a huge reason the top performing pros also happen to be the best box fighters. As you practice box fights, you want to practice being the person inside the turtle as well as the person on the outside trying to get in. You should spend about 25 minutes total both W-keying and box fighting. You can divide that however you want. The main goal is to start winning more fights and becoming a better fighter. The final aspect of my training guide is game sense. Game sense is probably the hardest to improve at quickly, especially while playing. The way I think you should work on it is by doing either or both of two things. One is to drop at an isolated location in pubs or arena and play to win. Do not take any dumb fights, make sure you're rotating early, and do whatever it takes to win. When you die, go and figure out why. What mistake did you make that you could have avoided? By doing this, you'll start to understand when to rotate, what fights to take, and learn the ins and outs of Fortnite. The other method is for more experienced players that want to kick it up a notch. For you guys, you should be playing in scrims and the weekly tournaments. Both of them will really teach you rotations and decision making quickly. Anytime you make a mistake, it will be capitalized on much faster than in arena or pubs. Since this will finish off our routine, playing to win and scrims should take you about 20 to 25 minutes. This should allow you to get a full scrim in along with everything else we've done, which is actually pretty impressive considering the time crunch we're in. That brings the program's total to an hour and a half, or 90 minutes of rigorous training. 15 minutes for aiming, 20 minutes for building, 5 minutes for editing, 25 minutes for fighting, and 25 minutes for game sense. I know there's going to be comments saying,
Jarian, I can only play for 7.5 minutes.
In which case, I can only say, that sucks. 90 minutes really is not that long, especially once you see how much the full routine will help you improve. One important thing I did not include is to watch pro players stream. This is maybe the best way to improve your game sense quickly, but you can't watch streamers if you're playing the game at the same time, meaning it should be a supplement to my routine. Still, I think everyone should do it as it's another great way to combine all the skills I've talked about so far. Overall lads, that's the best Fortnite training guide for improving quickly. If this video did help you out, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and to turn on post notifications. Thank you to everyone using code Jarian. The giveaway just started boys, so go to my Twitter ASAP to enter. Just follow the steps on this tweet and you're in. Otherwise, that's it from me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.